Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. This is Love After Lockup Season 2, Episode 46. Confessions. Okay, it's also Life After Lockup. I'll be like Live After Lockup, Life After Lockup. It's all the same thing, okay? We're gonna jump right into it. First off, we got Megan, Michael, and Sarah, okay? Last episode, we saw that, okay, so Michael was in New York, right? He had brought his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, you know, post-Megan girlfriend named Maria, okay? We wasn't getting good vibes from Maria. We was like, we don't really like Maria, okay? So, we saw the whole blow up about him going to see Sarah and Aviana getting upset. And at the end of the episode, we saw Michael and Sarah talking, and it wasn't looking like he was going in a good place, okay? She was trying to ask him if he brought a girl down with him, and he was like, you don't need to worry about that, okay? Why you worried about that? You still want me or whatever. And so this episode opens up with that, and Michael doesn't want to have to explain who Maria is and why she is there in New York to see his kids with him to Sarah, okay? So Sarah gets upset. She stands up and they arguing, going back and forth or whatever. And then she's like, "Is that alcohol on your breath?" Okay, and that, I guess that makes Michael upset. And so he calls her a B. Okay, and so she storms away. She goes to open the door and she's like, "Get out." Okay, so he gets out. The next scene we see, he gets out and he's talking to the cameras or whatever, like, she still want me. She doing all this and I got rights. She want me. She can't have me. You know, what does Maria have to do with her? Like, I don't understand. Like, oh my God. Okay, and I was like, okay, girl. So Sarah proceeds to, like, she gets upset and she wants to walk outside to talk to Michael again. And I'm like, girl, it's not a good idea, but okay. So she walks outside and she's like, just answer me yes or no. Like, weren't you supposed to see the kids on Father's Day? Weren't you supposed to see the kids on this day? Weren't you supposed to see the kids on that day? And he's like, man, I don't even want to talk about any of that. I don't want to talk about none of that, okay? And that's the problem, Michael. Okay, you don't want to talk about nothing. All you want to talk about is her getting upset that or you thinking that she still wants to be with you, but you don't want to talk about that she pays everything. She pays your phone. She was willing to pay for your flight and everything to come and see your kids. So I don't understand, and I think some people were like against Sarah on the last couple episodes, but I don't really see it, because Sarah seems like she's willing to go out of her way a lot to do for this man, to see his kids, and that might not be the case. That might not. It just might be what she's saying. But even on the show, it seems like she really gives this man lots of chances to go see his kids. And, you know, he's willing to go fly here and go fly there to go see Megan and Boo Boo Maria, okay, and fly her up here to see his kids, but he don't have money to pay his phone bill and to come up and see his kids. So, I mean, I tried to listen to what y'all was saying, but Michael still seems like the problem to me, okay? And Sarah is a part of the problem because she allows this to happen, and she allows this man to treat her like this. But I don't see it for Michael, y'all. I don't see it, okay? He is just clueless to me, okay? So they start going back and forth. He leaves. He gets a cab. He leaves. I'm like, thank goodness, okay? So Michael gets back to the hotel and he tries to find Maria. Maria's laid up by the pool, okay? She's like, girl, where the kids at, okay? He's like, so this what happened. So he tells Maria what happened. And he's like, I know it's hard, you know, when the kids are raised by the mama. And he was saying how he was raised by his mama and how his dad had lived out of state and how you couldn't tell him anything about his mama because his mama had raised him and his dad didn't. So he was saying he kind of understands, but like he doesn't want to be that way. But you are kind of being that way, Michael. You are really living up to what your dad did, if that from what you're saying, okay? So Maria, of course, gives terrible advice. She's like, it's nothing that you doing, boo. It's nothing that you doing. It's her. Okay, she got the baby doing that. She got you not going to see your kids. That's her. That's her. Okay, and I'm like, Maria, just exit yourself out of this conversation, baby. Go ahead. Just exit yourself out of this conversation. And then at the end, Maria said that she's going to get a visit from me. I said, girl, please go sit down. Go sit down somewhere because we don't want to see that. Okay, please. Please. Anyway, so that was Meghan, Michael, and Sarah, y'all. Next, we got Marcelino and Britney. So, last episode we saw that Britney was basically trying to see her kids that she gave birth to when she was a teenager who was being abused by a grown man. Okay, that's pretty much what happened. So, we saw that she went to her lawyer last episode, and he basically said it was going to be extremely hard because she was, you know, an inmate at the time, I guess, when she had the kids. So, basically, those records were sealed. It was a closed adoption, and plus she was a juvenile. So, Britney went down to the courthouse this episode, and she found her case files, and she has at least something to read off of. And it says on there that there's a lot of things because she was a juvenile that they didn't disclose to her, and they kept in the paperwork, and she was just finding that out. As well as that they had tried to contact the man who had abused her, who was the children's father, to have some type of custody over the kids. And all of us, me, Britney, Marcelino, I'm pretty sure all y'all watching were like, what? Is that what the system does? It tries to contact the man who abused this little girl, and basically, you know, she gave birth to his kids illegally, and y'all are still willing to contact the man who did this to have some type of custody or, you know, over the kids. Crazy. Okay, I was with Britney like this. The system is broken if this is the system. It's ridiculous. Basically, that's the same thing that happened to that girl who just recently got released. I forgot her name. I forgot her name on the tip of my tongue. But I think y'all know what I'm talking about. She just recently got released, but she had this almost the same storyline of somebody who abused her when she was young. And basically, they had prosecuted her instead of trying to prosecute the man that did these things to her. And I was like, okay, why is this okay in the system? But anyway, Marcelino is still on this, like, we don't have no money for this, so stop looking into it, okay? Anyway, so the next scene, Britney is on the laptop and she decides to look for the man who was her children's father all those years ago. And she basically says how she met him as she was wandering around at 12 years old, lost. And some man approached her and was like, hey, you want somewhere to stay? And so she brought her, he had brought her to the security guard who worked at the hotel. And that wound up being her abuser. So I was like, crazy, crazy. She finds him online, but it says that he is in prison and he is going to be able to get on parole in like the next month. So she knows exactly where he's going to be in a month and, you know, what time. And so she has opportunity to confront him and ask him everything he knows about those two kids or whatever. But she's like, Marcelino will not like this. So, I mean, Britney's story is really heartbreaking, y'all. It's terrible. So next we have Lamar and Andrea, okay? Lamar takes Andrea out on a nice date, okay? He takes off his hat and his glasses like, hold up, boo. I'm trying to be a real gentleman out here, okay? So, he's like, hold up. I'm going to get the famous spaghetti and meatballs, okay? I'm going to get some nice Chef Boyardee. That's what y'all got? Let me go ahead and get that, okay? So, that's what he said he get him. It gets awkward because Andrea says she doesn't feel like Lamar prioritizes him or her kids, or she doesn't feel like Lamar prioritizes her or their family. And he says he has a whole life in LA. He's in school. He got a job. He's been giving money to her kids, and she's like, my kids? What about it's our kids? Okay, she gets offended. He's saying it's hard for him to move all of his life up to Utah. You know, that's the problem with their whole situation. She's like, I don't want to bring this up, not even right here, but like filing for a divorce, like, you know, can we go ahead and do that? Okay. And so Lamar is like obviously taken aback by it, and he's like, he's been in the system since he was 5 years old, and so he's trying to get adjusted to being out here and being a free person and visiting his family and making up for all that time lost. And he has a daughter. He has an older daughter, you know, already. So it's hard for Lamar, and I empathize with him, you know, about that situation, because there's a lot of people who are locked up and who are in and out the system, in and out the system, in and out the system. And so mentally, and trying to figure out how to go around this and be a sane person is hard. And I empathize with them, you know. But he still has to, like, he married this woman. So it's like you have to give her all the things that you promised her while you were locked up. So, y'all, I don't know. That's pretty much all that happened with them. Next we get to Angela and Tony, okay? So Angela was planning on doing a stakeout after she left her friends and her sister and them and Tommy. But she decides to go in the house and you know, get into bed with Tony. And so the next morning, you know, she's like, morning, Tony, okay? And Tony was like, I thought you was going to be out. I thought you was going to be out with the girls, boo. Like, what happened? And she's like, Tony, you know what? Like, I was planning on staging the stakeout outside of my house, you know, to see where you was going to go. But I decided to come in the house, Tony. And you did exactly like you were supposed to do. And I'm proud of you, Tony, okay? And Tony's like, why are you doing all this? And, you know, oh my gosh, like, yes, I have an addiction, and all of my other relationships have failed because of my addiction that I have, okay? And he tells Angela to tone her voice down. I said, girl, what? And she's like, Tony, why are you upset? Like, what is your problem? You have all your bills paid. Like, everything is okay for you right out of jail. Like, what is your problem? Okay? Tony, he don't know what his problem is. Okay? Angela goes to work. So, the next episode, the commercial break, Angela talks about fornicating, girl. We're going to move right past that. Okay? So, the last scene we have with them, Angela takes Tony, this heathen, okay? She takes him to her church, okay? They're going to go get counseling with Brother Joey, okay? Brother Joey seems like a nice man, okay? So Angela takes him in there, Brother Joey, you know. She tells Brother Joey what's been happening, okay? Like, Tony's been, you know, he's been not really doing what he's supposed to be doing. And I just don't trust Tony like I need to trust Tony. And I really need you to, you know, help me with Tony and figure out what's going on, okay? And so Brother Joey's like, okay, come on. And he slaps Tony on the leg. And Tony's like, oh my gosh, okay? So he's like, tell me about yourself, Tony, okay? And Tony's like, well, he says, well, Brother Joey, I just got out of prison. And Brother Joey's like, what? Oh, okay. Okay, what else? It threw me back a little bit, but I came back, okay? So, and so Brother Joey asked about the blow-ups that him and Angela have been having, okay? He said, you know, Brother Joey says, you know, that even though Tony just got out of jail, you know, he's like, amen, you're trying to get your life back together, amen. So what about these blow-ups? So, Tony says, I've been messaging some ladies and some girls, and that's what's been happening. And so Brother Joey's like, you just been texting them? Like, what's really going on, okay? And Tony's like, well, no, I've been fornicating with them, Brother Joey. I've been fornicating with them, okay? And Brother Joey's like, oh, wow, okay. So, like, and so Angela's like, yeah, some ladies of the night, you know, and whatnot. I call them ladies of the night because that's what they're doing, okay? And Brother Joey's like, okay, so, like, what about your childhood? What about your background, okay? And Tony proceeds to tell him, like, he really had a terrible upbringing. His mom and his dad had gotten divorced, and he was living with his daddy part-time. When he was living with his daddy was beating on him and everything, okay? And so his mom had to get full custody of the kids or whatever, but his dad basically was like cheating on his mom and beating the kids and probably beating her, and just crazy situation, okay? And so Brother Joey and Angela was saying that this is the first time that she had heard about this, and it kind of explains why he's kind of messed up the way he is, you know, about him having addictions and not really having a footing on like treating people right and whatnot. So even Brother Joey's like, you realize, like, you're hurting Angela the way your dad would hurt people. You know, like, you have to stop taking advantage of people. You have to stop manipulating people and getting over on people. Like, just stop it. And Tony's like, well, like, I didn't realize I acted like my daddy, but I kind of am, okay? And so we get a one-on-one with him, you know, with the camera, and he gets a little emotional. And I see some type of humanity in Tony for a second. I'm like, okay, okay. Like, he says he feels bad, but is it enough for Tony to change? This has been years and years of Tony being the same person, so I don't think he's going to really, like, change like that overnight. But I have hope for Tony, y'all. What do y'all think? Do y'all have hope for Tony? Like, I don't know. Like, you know, I have empathy for anybody who's gone through a really bad childhood and who's been scarred mentally and is trying to figure it out. So I really hope that he figures it out. Okay. See there, Tony? I'm rooting for you. Okay, I'm rooting for you. Okay. So then we get to Lacey, Shane, and John. Oh, God. The first scene, we got John at the rehab. His sister goes and visits him. Sisters, and they're like, hey, why are you in here this time? Okay, he tells her why, like, what happened. He was doing them drugs and whatnot when the cops had picked him up. He tells his sister that he still wants to be with Lacey, and his sister is like, are you serious? Are you stupid? Or like, what? Are you stupid? Because just tell me now, because I leave, okay? And he's like, no, I really want to be with Lacey. You know, I still want to be with her, even though that she's married. And sister tells us, she's like, we never liked Lacey. Lacey is a manipulator. She's been manipulating my brother for a long time, and he keeps falling for it. And he said, you know, that he wasn't going back to jail for her, but that's exactly what he did. And he keeps falling for this trap of abuse from her. And the abuse they give each other, and it's terrible, okay? And so she tells him that. She's like, look, you stupid, okay? And basically, if you go back to jail, you know, again for Lacey, like, we done. And he says he won't, you know. John says that he likes a challenge, okay? She gonna challenge him right back to jail. So, okay, I'm done with it. So, the last scene, Lacey and Shane, they go roller skating, okay? Lacey says, you know, my dad has the kids for, you know, for the night, and me and Sheen, like, we're really having a good time. We've been married for 3 months, okay, and we're going roller skating, okay. And so we see Shane trying to roller skate, poor thing, and he's slipping and sliding, and he's falling down and getting back up. And I said, poor Shane, this ain't for you, okay. Lacey, it seems like she's good at roller skating, but Shane, no, baby, this is the last time for you, okay. So they go off to the side, and we see the clip of him talking to his homeboy and basically saying that he cheated on Lacey, okay. So he has to tell her. So they get to the side, and he's basically like, look, girl, before we got married, one night I was drunk and I cheated on you. And she's like, what? Like, okay, like, why did you get married to me then? Like, what was the reason? Okay, well, what was the reason? Okay. And she's like, you're pathetic. Okay, I'm out of here. Okay, so she leaves. She leaves Shane at the roller rink. So I don't know if this is it for them. It's probably not over for them, girl, but I don't really care that much. Okay, y'all. So that was this episode, you guys. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.